right, everybody. Time for Sunday Basic Sunday. And I guess you call it an unboxing, although it's not your typical unboxing as you would expect unboxings to be. But um, I did order a new uh, dice thing from Amazon. It's supposed to be a dice tower, dice tray, something or other, but it's supposed to be felt to be nice and quiet. When I did order it, after I ordered it, somebody told me it was really, really small. And now I believe them because this is the dice. This is how it came. It's a new Nug Nerd dice tower or whatever. So this is how it came from Amazon. If I can get this thing open, it's kind of tight in there. So we'll open this up here if I can. Probably should do it with my left hand because my right hand's not working so well lately with my finger issues and so what. Or I might need help here. Might need the old scissors here because my guns aren't, well, I can't even get to my guns because my hand won't allow it. Let me see if I can find some kind of way to get around. You know what? I'm just going to bite the bullet and use my gun to get it out of there. How about that? There we go. Now we opened it up. So this is what I ordered. This is it right here. Let's open it up. There's your unboxing right there. It does have a bag that's really in there pretty tight, actually. Hoping I can get it out of here. Maybe I have to pull it through this way. Yeah, I got to pull it through this way. So it looks like it stands up just like this. That's what it looks to do. So I don't know if that's going to work or not. We're going to find out. Let's see what kind of dice come with it. We get a whole bunch of red. They're not even really red. They're just kind of almost translucent, I guess you'd call it. So I don't know that I want to use the dice, although it is a nice little red D20 that I might be able to use. I could think about using that one perhaps. Good contrast with the blue because I originally was going to use these dice. So let's get a practice roll and see how this goes through here. Whoops, if I could, the hole is very, very small. So I think what I want to do is put it here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a slant right here. If I hit it here, it'll fall right down into there. So let's see if that's going to be the working for us. There we go. It's just hard for me to see it. I have to actually look on my computer to see it because this ledge is really high. I have to either stick my head out there or I can look on the screen and get it that way. So hopefully that will work now. It was definitely quiet. I will give it that. It definitely doesn't have that loud sound to it. So we're going to give this a go here on the Sunday Basic Sunday, and which I'm recording on a Saturday night, late after I finish my golf. Final round, live stream. I usually do this midweek, but somehow or another never got around to doing it. So rather than trying to rush and do it Sunday morning, I figured I'd do it now. Late Saturday night, if you want to call it that. I think I can get a little closer now since the dice tray is not very big. And of course, what I tried last week, I'm going to try again, putting this up here to give me a contrast for these basic cards, Strat basic cards. I'm hoping that will suffice. So we're going to try this and see how it goes. And let's see, I think, yeah, that'll still fit. So that'll get me through 7 innings. After 7 innings, I'll have to figure it out. Maybe I'll back the camera up a little bit after 7 innings, but we'll go with this. Starting pitchers, Eli Gerba for the Los Angeles Angels and Juan Pizarro for the Chicago White Sox. I did some pre-checking. Sherm Lawler is a 3, is a -2 on the hold in basic. Buck Rogers is a 2 rated catcher, so he's a -3 on his hold. Both pitchers have special run ratings. Eli Gerba is a 13 and Pizarro is a 14. So I think that takes care of those preliminaries. And like I said, I got to get used to this dice tray. That's all I can tell you is I got to get used to the dice tray. So hopefully I can do that. Now in basic, when I do this game, I don't roll the D20 until it's necessary. So we'll just go with these 3 first and see what happens. There we go. We get a 3-7. 3-7 on Pearson is a ground ball to third. I will say it is a very weird experience. I'm sure I will love it once I get used to it, but it's going to take some time to get used to this dice tray when I, for so many years, have been used to this dice tray. You can see how it's dwarfing in size. But I do like the fact that it's quiet. That is a big thing, is the fact that it's quiet. Now, here's Joe Copy. That is a 6-9. And Bizarro on a 6-9. A 1 to 12 is a double. Anything else will be a single. That's an 18, so it's base hit for Joe Copy. Copy is on. He's not much of a threat to run. And here comes Lee Thomas, the center fielder. We get a 6-6, and that's going to be a fly to right field. 2 down for Leon Wagner. That's a 4-6 for Wagner, and that's going to be a base on balls off of Pizarro. His first walk, first and second, 2 outs for Felix Torres. 3-6 for Torres, and he strikes out. That will end the inning. Nothing for the Angels. We go to the bottom of the first. Los Angeles nothing, and the White Sox coming to bat. Eli Gerba, the pitcher. And Louis Aparicio will lead it off for the White Sox. May have too much glare on here. I had the lights high for the golf, but I think I have it too high for basic. So let me turn it down 1 notch. Hopefully that will take some of the glare. Maybe I'll turn it down 1 more notch if we'll go lower. Maybe we'll try that. Hopefully that takes some of the glare off of there. Aparicio 4-7 on Gerba, and that's a base on balls. So Aparicio, if he wants to steal, he is an A stealer, which means he starts at a 1 to 15. But then Rogers with the -3 makes it 1 to 12. Still a pretty good gamble, 60%. They're going to send him. 1 to 12, he's safe. And he is. Stolen base for Aparicio. So Aparicio steals second base, gets in scoring position early for Nelly Fox. That's a 6-5, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. First X chance of the game. It is on the shortstop Copy. He's a 3. So a 3-rated shortstop. We're in this column. And we get an 18. 3 and an 18 says roll 20-sided die again. A 3 and a 3 is going to be a single 1. So that's a 1-base advancement. And that'll put runners at the corners. Nobody out. For Joe Cunningham, the first baseman. Angels playing back for a double play. They need outs. It's early in the game. They got to have outs. We had a 6-8, and that's going to be a fly ball left field B. That'll be a sacrifice fly. And the White Sox strike first. Small ball, walk, stolen base, single, and a sacrifice fly. And the White Sox lead 1-0. Here is Floyd Robinson. 6-6, and that is a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Moran. Moran is a second baseman, and he is a 2. 2 and an 8. Out 3. Out 3, run on first, out second, going into completion of a double play. So there you go, 4-6-3 double play, a Giovanni's Taylor shot. Taylor-made double play. And the Angels get out of the mess with only 1 run. Looked like it might have been worse, but they get out with just 1 run. Still in the ball game, 1-0 after 1. And Eddie Yost, the veteran, will lead off for the Angels. 6-6, and that's a fly to right. Hauled in out there by Robinson. 1 away, and here's Buck Rogers. One 8 for Rogers. He pops it up to third, and that's Charlie Smith. 2 down. There are 2 Smiths in the White Sox lineup, Al Smith and Charlie Smith. Brings up Billy Moran. Helped turn that double play in the previous inning. We get a 3-10, and that's going to be a line out to third. So Charlie Smith snags that also, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second, and due up is going to be the other Smith, Al Smith, against Eli Gerba. That's 2-7, and that's going to be a fly to left. That is hauled in by Wagner, one away for Hirschberger, center fielder, Mike Hirschberger. And that's a 6-9, and that's a ground ball to second. Easy play from Moran, 2 down for Charlie Smith. Still getting used to this little dice thingy. And it's got over here, it's got Nugner. I don't know how well it can show on there. Nugner. That's the brand from Amazon. It was $14.99 is what I paid for it. 5-11, and that is a walk. Second walk issued by Gerba. No threat to run is Charlie Smith, and here's Sherm Lawler. 4-8, and that's going to be a strikeout. First strikeout for Gerba to end the inning. We go to the top of the third, still 1-0 White Sox. Leading off will be Gerba. He uses pitcher hitting card number 7. Very good hitter for a pitcher. And that's 2-10, but he will strike out just like a pitcher usually does. Strikeout number 2 for Pizarro. Back to the top of the order for Albie Pearson. We get a 2-6 for Pearson, and he will walk. And that's the second walk issued by Gerba. He's a B stealer, which means he would start as a 1-13. Then the -2 from Lawler would be a 1-11. It's only a 55% chance, so I think they'll hold him up, and they'll go with. Now Tabby wants to come in. Tabby. There you go. Tabby was nudging her way in here, so she made it. All right, here's Joe Copy. And that's a 2-7 for Copy, and he hits a fly ball to left for out number 2. Brings up Lee Thomas, center fielder for the Angels. (5-4), and that's a strikeout for Pizarro, his third. And that ends the inning. And I don't know how much this cardboard is helping out. Hopefully it is. Trying to get the contrast between this white score sheet and the white of the basic side of the card. I'm trying to put something dark behind it to give it some contrast. So here is Pizarro. He uses pitcher hitting card number 2. That's a 3-9. He'll ground it to first. Easy play for Eddie Yost, 1 away. Back to top of the order for Aparicio. Walked, stole second, and scored. 3-7, and this time he's going to get a base hit. 1-2 is a double, 3-20 is a single. And it's a base hit for Aparicio. He might look to run again. A Steelers a 1-15. It's again a 1-12 chance. And again, he steals second base. Second stolen base for Aparicio. He's being a nuisance on the base pass for the Angels. Here's Nellie Fox. 6-8 for Fox against Gerba is a fly to left. That's 2 down. And it's going to be up to Joe Cunningham with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. 2-9 for Cunningham. Fly to right is going to end the inning. And we played 3 here at Comiskey Park, and it's the White Sox 1, the Angels nothing. Pizarro back out will face Leon Wagner, left fielder. He walked his first time up. That's a 2-3, and that will be a ground ball to second. Easy play for Fox, 1 away. For Floyd Robinson. Oh, sorry, wrong team. My bad. Picked the wrong guy. Wrong stack, I mean. Felix Torres is your next batter. Torres, 5-9. And that's going to be a 1-6 home run for Torres. 7-20 would be a double. That's gone. A 6, it's gone. Home run, Felix Torres. He had 11 homers real world. He hits one here to tie the game at a run apiece. That'll bring up Eddie Yost. We are tied at 1 here in the top of the 4th. 6-10, and that's going to be a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Hirschberger. He's a 2. So we're into this 2 section, 2 column here. And we get a 17. 2 and a 17 is an out. Hirschberger makes the play. 2 down for Buck Rogers. (6-4), and that's ground ball to second to end the inning. But the home run off the bat of Torres has tied the game at 1 apiece as we go to the bottom of the 4th. It will be Al Smith to lead it off. (2-7) for Smith. That's a fly to left, 1 away. Or that should have been Robinson, not Smith, my bad. Robinson, 2-7 is a pop to first. So he's going to pop it up to first. Had the wrong guy up there, but kept the same roll. There's nothing wrong with the roll. All right, now, here's Al Smith. 1-5, and that's a strikeout. For Gerba, his second. And that'll send up. That will send up Hirschberger. 2-4 for Hirschberger. He pops it to short, and that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Sox. We go to the 5th. Tied at a run apiece. Pizarro will be facing Moran to lead off the inning. Gerba on deck. 1-3, and that's a base on balls. Don't want to walk the 8th hitter because that allows the 9th hitter, the pitcher, to bunt. So that is the 3rd walk issue there. And, of course, Gerba will bunt. And to bunt, we're just going to use the 2d6s and look at this chart. We get a 4, and that is batter thrown up by pitcher, runner advances. So it's a sacrifice hit right back to Pizarro. Going to second is Moran. Tying run now, or the go-ahead run rather, is in scoring position for Albie Pearson. 5-5 is going to be a strikeout for Pizarro, and that is his 4th. 4th strikeout to go with 3 walks. And that brings up Joe Coppy. And we get a 6-9, and that's going to be a double 1-12, single 13-20. Either way, the run's going to score. It is a double. Double for Coppy, RBI double. And the Angels take a 2-1 lead. RBI double from Joe Coppy. Brings up Lee Thomas. That's a 1-5, and that is a strikeout. 5th strikeout for Pizarro. But the Angels now have a 2-1 lead, and they hand that over to Eli Gerba. Try to protect. Charlie Smith leads off for the White Sox, followed by Lawler and Pizarro. 3-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to 3rd. Easy play over there for Torres. 1 away, and here's Sherm Lawler. 2-4 for Lawler. It's ground ball to short, 2 down. And now the pitcher, Pizarro, with the 2 outs and the bases empty. 3-8, and he will ground it to 3rd. So 3 easy ground outs. And at the end of 5, it's the Angels 2, White Sox 1. It'll be Torres leading off for the Angels. I'm sorry, it'll be Wagner. Get out of order here. Where happened to Wagner? Where did he go? I think I got him mixed up with the White Sox somehow. I thought I did. I don't know what happened to him. We got a missing player. There he is. Somehow he got put in with the White Sox, and I have no idea how. Anyway, Wagner will lead it off. 6-5, and he strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Pizarro. And now that will bring up Torres with Eddie Yost on deck. 1-4, ground ball right back to Pizarro. 2 down for the veteran Eddie Yost. Yost is 0 for 2. 4-5, and that's going to be a strikeout for Pizarro, his 7th. So he's pitching well, just not getting any run support. 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and top of the order, Aparicio. 1-9 for Aparicio. He grounds it to short. 1 away. Good idea to keep him off the bases. If you are the Angels, here's Nelly Fox. 1-4 for Fox, and he grounds it right back to Gerba. 2 down for Joe Cunningham. That's a 5-7. Base hit, 2-out single. Cunningham, he's no threat to run, though. Floyd Robinson, 312 hitter on the season with 11 home runs and 10 triples. Whoa. Missed the tray there, or the little hole there. 6-2, and that's a walk. Gerba will walk Robinson, and for Gerba, that is walk number 3. Now first and second, 2 outs. And Al Smith. Chance to drive home a run, 5-7, and that's a single. Let's see if the run will score. Cunningham runs at a 13 with 2 outs. It becomes a 15, so they will definitely send him 1-15. He scores, and the game is tied. And he is. It's an RBI single off the bat of Al Smith. All this with 2 outs and nobody on, and we are tied at 2 apiece. Here's Hirschberger. 2-9 for Hirschberger. He grounds to short to end the inning. So 6 innings in the books, and we're tied at 2 apiece here at Comiskey Park. It'll be Rogers, Moran, and Gerba due up for the Angels here in the top of the 7th. That's a 1-8, and it's a pop up to third. 1 away for Billy Moran. .110, and that is a double 1-5, single 6-20. That's a double for Moran. And now the Angels have a decision to make. Although Gerba is a pretty good hitter. Using pitcher hitting card number 7. But he is a pitcher nonetheless. This is 1962, so I think they're going to let the pitcher hit here. And we get a 6-4, and it's a ground ball second base C. That'll get the runner to third. Now there are 2 outs, and it's going to be up to Albie Pearson to drive home the go-ahead run. Pearson is 0 for 2. 6-9, and he's going to do it. 1-12 is a double. 13-20 is a single. That's a single, but it's good enough to bring the run home. And the Angels reclaim the lead 3-2. Copy up. Trying to add more as I drop my D20. .312, and that's a ground ball to short. I'm not doing injuries, so it's just a ground ball to short. And we go to the 7th inning stretch with the score 3-2 Angels. And I think that's going to be it for Pizarro because he is set to bat third this inning, and they're going to probably need some offense. So that's most likely it for him. Charlie Smith will lead off the bottom of the 7th. 3-4, he grounds it to short. One away for Sherm Lawler. 6-9. That's a ground ball to second. 2 up, 2 down. And now a pinch hitter will be called upon for the White Sox. And let's see who they've got here. They've got Sammy Esposito. They've got Bob Roselli, Bob Sadowski, Bob Farley, and let's see, 2 others. They got Jim Landis and Cam Cameron. Cam Cameron is the best average of anybody there. He is a catcher, but they have 3 catchers that they're carrying. But I'm going to play lefty-righty even though it's basic, so we'll go with one of the lefties. And the best average of the lefty is Bob Sadowski at 231. So Sadowski will pinch hit here in the 7th inning, and we'll get a new pitcher for the White Sox in the 8th. But Bob Sadowski is up 5-6, and that's a 1-5 triple. 6-20 is a single. That's a single, pinch hit single for Bob Sadowski. That brings up Aparicio. 2-9 for Aparicio. He grounds it to short to end the inning. So that's going to do it for Pizarro. Pizarro is going to go 7 innings. And he's going to allow 3 runs, which were all earned. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. He struck out 7, and it looks like he walked 3. If I'm reading this correctly, he walked 3. Now we need a new pitcher for the White Sox, and they will turn to Turk Lone. Turk Lone will be on to replace Mr. Pizarro. Turk Lone. So let's see if we can still get this to do right for the 8th inning. Just about fits, I think. Lee Thomas will be the leadoff hitter against Lone. 4-6. 1-5 is a double. 6-20 is a single. That's a single for Lee Thomas. Starting the 8th inning. Brings up Leon Wagner. It's a 1-8 for Wagner, and that's a strikeout. Wagner out on strikes for Felix Torres. Lone trying to hold the score at 3-2. 5-3, and that is a ground ball pitcher X. Lone is a 1. So you would think he would make the play. That's a 2. It's an out 3. And that is going to be a completion of a double play. So it's going to be a 1. Let's see, Torres bats right-handed, so it's a 1-4-3 double play to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, still 3-2. Eli Gerba still going strong, facing Nellie Fox. Cunningham and Robinson, scheduled hitters. 6-11 for Gerba is a ground ball first base X. First baseman is Eddie Yost. He's a 4. 4-17 is an out, so that's all that matters. So I'll score it on a ground ball first base X. I will score it that he flips to Gerba covering. 1 away for Joe Cunningham. 6-9, ground ball to second. Brings up Floyd Robinson. 6-9 again, same result. Ground ball to second. So we go to the ninth. Still 3-2. Gerba may go for the distance here. They could always pinch hit for him in the ninth, potentially. Due up for the Angels, it'll be Yost, Rogers, and Morin here in the top of the ninth. Let's see if I can move this over here a little bit like that. That might help a tiny bit. All righty. Eddie Yost. 4-5, and that's going to be a 1-5 triple. 6-20 is a double. That's a triple for Eddie Yost. Big insurance run 90 feet away. Infield's going to have to come in. Buck Rogers up to the plate. Infield in. 4-3. That's a walk. That'll bring up Moran. 6-7. That is a fly ball center field B. That's a sacrifice fly. That'll get home a big insurance run to make it 4-2. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for Gerba. And they will go to Sergeant Steve Bilko to pinch hit. And Gerba will go 8 solid innings. So Bilko will pinch hit with a runner at first and 1 out. 5-4, and that's a ground ball shortstop. X shortstop. Aparicio's a 1. Could be a double play. That's a 12. 1 and a 12 is actually a 1-base error. How about that? Aparicio boots it. In his haste to try to turn 2, he didn't get any. E6. Now back to the top of the order for Pearson. Can't blame Lone for that one. That should have been a double play to end the inning. Here's Pearson. That is a 5. I know it's stuck in the corner there. 5-11. Ground ball first base X. So we turn it now to Cunningham. He's a 2. He is a 2. And that's an 8. 2 and an 8 is an out 3. I think that's going to be the double play. It certainly is. 3-6-3 will end the inning. But a big insurance run comes across the plate for the Angels. They lead it 4-2 as we go to the ninth. And that'll be all for Turk Lone. Lone's going to go 2 innings, give up a run, which was earned. Let's see here. Give up 1, 2 hits. Walked 1, struck out 1. Gerba goes 8 innings. Gives up 2 runs. They were earned. Hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 hits. He walks 3. And he struck out just 2. So now the Angels will go to their bullpen for someone to try to close the deal. And these are the guys they have available. They have Jack Spring. He had 6 saves on the season. Tom Morgan had 9 saves. Ryan Derman had 8 saves. Joe Nuxhall even relieved in this game. But I think they're going to go to the guy with 9 saves, and that would be Tom Morgan. They go to Captain Tom Morgan. You had Sergeant Bilko, and now you got Captain Tom Morgan. And he will try to finish off the deal here. Captain Tom Morgan. And he'll be in to face the scheduled hitters, Al Smith, Hirschberger, and Charlie Smith. Don't know the White Sox have a whole lot on the bench. Their bench looked pretty weak when I was picking out a pinch hitter for the pitcher. Those guys look pretty weak, so not sure you can do much with that. But they'll go with what they have, and that's Al Smith here, bottom of the ninth, 4-2 Angels. 4-9. And against Morgan, that's a ground ball shortstop X. And that's going to be copy. He's a 3. He's a 3. And that's a 4. 3 and a 4 is an out. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter what kind of out because the bases are empty. 6-3 ground out. 1 away for Hirschberger. That's a 5-7, and that's a triple 1-10, a single 11-20. And that's a triple for Hirschberger. How about that? Now the tying run comes to the plate in Charlie Smith. 207 hitter, but they just don't have much else on the bench, and they might need a pinch hitter for the pitcher spot. So they're going to stick with Charlie Smith here. Infield back. 2-8, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. But I believe in the basic, I'm going by this, ground ball A, if the runners are not forced, they hold. So even though the infield's back, it does not score the run. And now here's Sherm Lawler, last chance. Try to send it to a pinch hitter for the pitcher. 1-9, and he lines out to second to end the ball game. So the California Angels defeat the Chicago White Sox by the score of 4-2. Morgan goes the 1 inning, gives up a hit, nothing else. The win is to Gerba, the save to Morgan. The loss goes to Pizarro. And we'll get our totals. There was 1 error in the game, I believe it was right here. The E6 was the only error on Aparicio of all people. He committed the only error. 7 hits for the Angels, 6 hits for the White Sox. So Los Angeles Angels defeat the Chicago White Sox here on April 10th, 1962. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Angels. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the White Sox. Eli Gerba, the winner. Juan Pizarro, the loser. And Captain Tom Morgan gets the save. So not sure what you guys think of this little gadget here. I like the fact that it was quiet, which is good. And it's also small. It doesn't take up a lot of room. I wish this was a little bit lower, not as tall, because sometimes I got to look over here to see if the dice stop back here from where I'm sitting. I can't see it. I got to look in the computer screen to see what the actual result was. But I kind of like it, actually. I like the fact that it's quiet. That's the biggest selling point to me. And the fact that it was only $14.95, I just don't think I can go wrong with that. If it was a tiny bit bigger, that would be nice. But part of the selling point of this was that it was like a good travel thing. So, when you finish the game, you just plop this down here and it, kind of fits right in your hand, It's right here in my hand. Not even as tall as a Strat card, basically. So that's the selling point for it, I guess. Not to be an infomercial for Nugnert, but yeah, Amazon $14.95. It comes in, you can get it in blue, you can get the felt in green. When I saw the blue, I liked the blue. I already have one with a green felt, so I really like the blue because I think with the red and white, it gives good contrast. So that's that. So hopefully you enjoyed the Sunday Basic Sunday offering for this particular Sunday. Next Sunday will be another game from 1962. I have no idea what the teams will be yet. I look around on about Thursday or Friday and figure out which team I want to use, or 2 teams I want to use. But I'm trying to get different teams that have not been shown yet. So I'm trying to make sure that we hit all the teams as much as possible before I start duplicating anybody. So that's going to do it from here. Final score again, Angels 4, White Sox 2. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. And you tell me that whole game was played in 39.